Official.streetsmarks@gmail.com is how you want to contact us. Listen to us right here exclusively on YouTube, Streetsmark Audio, or fuck with us. Official.streetsmarks on SoundCloud and IG, Streetsmart fan page on Facebook, Street_Smarks on Twitter, or fuck with us with the goofs at ECW Memories. Courtesy of PWInsider.com. Neckbeard.
Neck Beezy, what's up, player?
We can wrestle in history as we see fit. March 26, 1994. ECW held Ultimate Jeopardy at the Valley Forge Music Center in Devon, Pennsylvania, also known as Stipomania.
Oh, shit.
The results as follows. Crash the Terminator defeated the Pitbull. 911 defeated Donnie Allen, Blue Mask, which was Chad Austin, and Hack Myers in a handicap match. ECW television champion JT Smith defeated the Rockin' Rebel, the Ayatollah of Rock'n'Rolla.
JT, now cheer.
The Bruise Brothers, the Lunkheads, defeated Bad Company, Paul Diamond and Pat Tanaka.
No, Mr. Fuji.
Goof beat up Hack. Jimmy Superfly Snuka defeated Putz in a steel cage match. Shane Douglas, Mr. Hughes, and the Public Enema defeated the ECW heavyweight champion Terry Funk. Street Vigilante Hawk, Devil, and the Tasmaniac in a War Games match when Douglas pinned Funk after suffocating him with a plastic bag. Due to pre-match stipulations, Douglas won the title, beginning his second reign.
That I do remember, because I was disappointed that Shane didn't leave the bag on just a little bit longer. Finish the job, but nevertheless, well done and congratulations to the last member of Hot Stuff International, Mr. Shane Douglas.
March 27th, 1953. Ed Francis defeated Lou Klein in Columbus, Ohio for the Midwest Wrestling Association World Junior Heavyweight title, ending and beginning each man's second reign.
So Lou Klein, and so that was the Midwest Wrestling Championship. So any idea if Lou Klein is still alive?
March 28th, 1963. Dory Dixon defeats WWF World Champion Buddy Rogers in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, shit.
To become the first Worldwide Wrestling Alliance World Champion. Rogers' WWF World title was not on the line.
It should have been, so that way when I beat Dory Dixon, I would have the WWF title along with the Worldwide Wrestling Alliance Championship. Is Dory still alive?
March 29th, 2003. Power Pro Wrestling held Legends Collide at the Electric Factory in Philly. The results. Only going to say that Terry Funk defeated Abdullah the Butcher and Dusty Rhodes in a three-way dance. Last man standing stipulation.
Speaking of Jesus H. Christ, welcome back, Jesus. Because I know this is the day you make your big return. And as far as, don't nobody care about Terry Funk beating Abdullah the Butcher, fat ass. He probably was eating a corn dog or something and got stuck in his throat, and Terry Funk got lucky. I mean, hey, geez Louise.
March 30th, 1971. Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk defeat Jack and Jerry Briscoe to win the NWA Florida Tag Team titles in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Big frippin' whoop. They won a match 50 years ago when they were in their 50s. Next. Oh, yeah, there we go. Here we go. It's some real wrestling news.
March 31st, 1985.
That's right.
WrestleMania 1 happened at Madison Square Garden Arena. Hot Stuff, Street Smart Audio trivia question for you. The main event of WrestleMania 1.
The main event consisted of Hulk Hogan teaming with Mr. T, facing Roddy Piper, and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with Cowboy Bob Orton in their corner, who had the cast. Muhammad Ali was the special guest inside referee. And that's more than sufficiently answers your question.
Snuka was in the babyface's corner.
And Snuka was in the babyface's corner.
That is correct. And today, April 1st, WrestleMania 6. Skydome.
Oh man.
Talk about it.
Oh man. That WrestleMania right there, even though I was a wrestling fan prior to that, but WrestleMania 6 is what sealed the deal for me going up into it, that it's like, oh man, I'm in this shit for life. It was Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Showdown. I was surprised that it was so many people that was in the side of the Warriors corner and shit, but at the same time it just made it that more intense and shit. Warriors music hit and he run down, the crowd super pumped and shit. Then Real American come on and shit, Hulk Hogan come out and shit. Do his whole deal and shit. I'm getting goosebumps over here and shit. And then they do their motherfucking stare down and shit, and then they do their back and forth to basically tell the story that they're equally matched and shit. Then they hit the double clothesline and shit.
Hollywood special.
my favorite spot in professional wrestling, perfected by those two gentlemen right there. Say what you want to say about the Ultimate Warrior, but he did a great job on that double clothesline with Hogan right there. Anyway, get to the doggone finish and shit. Hulk missed the leg drop. Warrior gets the big splash and shit, pins Hulk Hogan and shit. My motherfucking heart sinks into my stomach and shit. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I can't believe it. Then Hulk Hogan come and bring this motherfucker the belt and shit, and then lift this nigga's arms and shit, and then, I'm like, all right, so, I kind of respected the Warrior after that. And Hulk Hogan got on that little ass wrestling ring and shit, and went up the thing and shit. I'm like, damn, man, that's still kind of fucked up and shit. You know what I'm saying?
How many times are you gonna say and shit?
Oh man, so I'm just reliving this over again. Like I'm reliving it in bits and stuff, so I could kind of keep the story going and shit. Take a drink, but oh man, that was just that whole build up, the match afterwards. It was just all surreal for me. Like it is easily the most impressionable wrestling moment of my life. WrestleMania 6, Hogan versus Warrior, and the wrong man won.
I've never seen the match.
Are you fucking kidding me?
April Fools.
You son of a... It's like you opened the portal with the portal gun, and I saw the green oval, and I still hopped right in. Well done. Walked right into the April Fool's dimension.
I love it. Earth 401.
Yeah. I'm starting to hate Earth 401.
No, to be honest, I actually have not seen WrestleMania 6 in its entirety. I've probably seen every match, but I've never actually sat down and watched the actual show. Outside of most WrestleManias, I've never seen. I mean, I've seen the key matches and shit like that, but to be honest, the early WrestleManias I've seen, you know what I'm saying? But once it gets down to like 17, which happened also on April Fool's Day,
Oh yeah.
I never seen that all the way through. I've seen probably every match, but I've never watched it all the way through. I always fall asleep.
Terrible.
I always fall asleep. I definitely fall asleep on the main event.
I've done that on different wrestling events, but never WrestleMania though. I've always had WrestleMania parties and shit.
Like, seriously, and this is no April Fool's joke. Like, I find Austin Rock at 17 to be quite boring. Like seriously, like it's a great match, but it to me it has no replay value. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's they call it the end of an era. You know, it's the end of an era match. You know, it kind of ends the Attitude Era or whatnot with the Austin heel turn, which was bad for business. But like in the scope of Austin matches, it doesn't rank as high, and people rank it really high. They give it 4+, and you know, and star ratings are definitely subjective. But as far as replay value, and that's where the stars really like get added to me. That's like you go back and you watch a match, you go, man, that's a great match. Like I was watching SummerSlam 2003, and I was watching Elimination Chamber. Okay, so it was Triple H, Goldberg, basically a Nash, you know what I'm saying, Jericho.
The one Goldberg should have won.
Yeah, the one Goldberg decimated everybody and shit, and then and Triple H great fucking match. You know what I'm saying? Dick heel move and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but again, when you're in the bubble, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, fucking Triple H won again. Fuck, man. But you know what I'm saying? When you look back at it, it's like, it's not that bad, man. It's really not. It's great fucking heel heat. You know what I'm saying? And when he fucking drops that belt, first to Benoit, but ultimately to Batista, you know that belt has been through some shit. You know what I'm saying? Because when Triple H got that belt, he was just handed to him. You know what I'm saying? So it was like the Reign of Terror had to happen. Okay? And I know I'm segueing far off from the shit, but it's just like, it goes to show, like, you cannot watch wrestling in the bubble. And you got to look back at it and see the overall story arcs. And the overall story arc of that World Heavyweight Championship from 2002 to 2005 when Batista finally won it, it's not a bad run. It's some fuck finishes, but you got to establish the belt. Going back to WrestleMania, it just seems like WrestleMania ended flat. You know what I'm saying? And they had nothing going on until the alliance angle started. And it was hodgepodge as fuck anyway. Yeah. But, like, they had nothing. Like, they could have ran with Austin as a babyface for year number 5. It didn't matter. It was working. You know what I'm saying? But they wanted to switch it up because, you know, people get stale and shit. But it was a bad move. And then you got the goofs that come around and say, well, it wasn't that bad. It was a flop. It was a commercial flop. Critical, it wasn't bad. It helped Austin's character in the long run with the what and shit. It gave him some more longevity. It definitely gave him some more t-shirt sales. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying. But like in the end thing, WrestleMania 17 bad. I'd give the Austin Rock match not the praise that everybody else seems to give it. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I thought it was a pretty good match myself. You know, there was particular spots and shit where they was doing each other's finishers and shit, which I got a good kick out of. And then the whole freaking build up, you know what I'm saying? I had the privilege of not watching that in the bubble, so you know what I'm saying, it's like has one of my favorite WrestleMania packages of all time, the My Way Limp Bizkit shit.
Very good.
You know what I'm saying? And once they finally got rid of Deborah out of the angle and shit, it really took off and shit. It's like, dang, Rock is finally coming to his own and shit. He's finally the man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's neck and neck with Austin right now. Austin got his, like, he is more determined than ever to get this belt and shit. They go to the match and shit. The heel turn didn't really do much for me and shit, but
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? But and I wanted The Rock to win, so you know, I was that honked off by the finish period. But the fact that he needed Vince to win was satisfactory for me as a Rock fan at the time, you know what I'm saying? But, you know,
I look at it as, like, in the overall story of the Attitude Era, like, flat. and then you get this limbo period with the alliance and shit didn't really get kicked off again until like Cena and Batista. So it was like this 3-year period of just shit just happening for no reason. And again, that's why I just retroactively look at the match and go, it's not a great match, because they could have kept going with the attitude shit. Now, culturally, and I'm just thinking of this right now, culturally, if the world was shifting, maybe it was a key time to get out of that attitude phase. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it was maybe they were looking at it like market research and looking at a societal approach and going, well, maybe we need to tone down on the attitude shit and, figure out what our next, direction is. And then, those 3 years is trying to figure out a direction. And then you find, you luck up on Cena and Batista, and then you go on and go forth,
How do you how far do you go with deciding how much of your freedoms you want to give up for protection?
Okay. As far as?
Like, the right of privacy, how much of that you're willing to give up to let your government, quote unquote, do what they can do to spy on the motherfuckers they say they want to spy on, but that means they have to spy on you too.
Well, I think it becomes a process of what they refer to as a Hegelian dialectic.
Oh shit! New word alert! New word alert!
All right, so the Hegelian dialectic is an approach where they say that governments, there's a problem.
Okay.
Okay. The government wants a specific reaction. That's what it is.
Okay.
So they stage an event to get the desired reaction. That way they can do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we do something, let's just say like, you know what I'm saying? And let's just say, the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? We need a okay. So we stage something, and then now we give our reason. The motherfuckers that we said blew up were from Afghanistan. It don't make no sense. I mean, trust me, I know. I fought this shit for like 10 years. It's ridiculous. So I'm a big subscriber of those who purport the Hegelian dialectic. So I would say if your freedom, if we want to have more control of your freedoms, we're going to stage an event to make to make it seem that the people want to give us more authority over their rights.
Do you think school shootings could be something?
Absolutely.
Like that?
I mean, school shootings are a prime example of a Hegelian dialectic, because the overall approach is we want to disarm the American public because they have too many weapons and we cannot take them by force. So therefore, we attack those who are most vulnerable, being our children, being our schools, because there are no guns at schools. So we can attack the schools. We get scared and say, hey, please, government, save us. Arm the police more military style. That way, they can be more menacing and they can be a more imposing force. All the while, the Alphabet Boys are dropping off weapons in Chicago.
What?
Or the Alphabet Boys are just so happen to be dumping pounds of cocaine off the coast of Florida.
What?
Man.
On that note, we're going to come back. Extreme Retro Review time. It's going to be the last Eastern Championship Wrestling TV show for you in a few. Peace.
Peace.
We want to disarm the American public.